Everybody to give a round of applause for George and Edna for putting all this together. Thank you. Good on. All right. Well, this is just about adult. Aunt Mary and Uncle Bill, the golden anniversary is a time to celebrate and honor all your marriage means and all you've achieved in those lives together, your lives together. Congratulations, love always, Edna Marie.
And she's not here.
And here's a gift card, just for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Edna Marie. I'm sorry you're not here. Edna Marie, thank you.
Know what happens when two great people get together? A great marriage. Lovebirds. Edna, your sister. Another gift card. Isn't that nice? Unknown admirer. Laughter and joy over the years. Vows that last, everlasting. Oh, and that spells love.
Oh, wow.
Dear Aunt Mary, Uncle Phil, you too have something really special. Everything you share, all the little moments of giving, laughing and dreaming adds up to love and great big love. Happy anniversary. Your love and years together are such an inspiration to Bobby and I.
That's sweet. Thank you.
Wait. That was supposed to be a $10 bill.
Happy anniversary. You know, if you stay together too long enough, you'll start to look alike.
Thank God I still got my hair.
Happy anniversary. Tonight we celebrate your love for both. Melissa, happy anniversary. 60th. You are inspiration to all of us. I find we can be here. We're glad we could be here. Love, Todd. Mom, Dad, happy 60th. You love and dedication to one another. Inspiring. I am so happy to be here celebrating with you and the family. I love you, Edna. And happy anniversary, Mom and Dad. I hope you two have a great time. Glad to be here with you. Love, George.
Come on, I get my favorite children.
Well, this is just about adult. In the picture, but it says, now, aren't you glad you both married someone good looking?
What's your name? He said, good looking. What?
Waiting. Years of marriage. 720 months of hugs, 300,129 weeks of happiness, 21,915 days, 525,960 hours of love.
I didn't know it was that long.
A blessed family, countless happy memories, a never-ending love story. Happy 60th. Wow, what a great time. Dearest Uncle Bill and Aunt Mary, happy 60. God bless you both. We love you. Kathy and Steve. Says go eat. All right. From Perfectionary, a special gift worth to love.
It sounds like
Special
something
gift.
special for me.
Edible panties.
Watch it now.
Diamonds were full.
Whiskey
Look at
glass.
that, honey.
Say something.
Wonderful.
You couldn't fill it for them?
Those are perfect for hot cards.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Good to see you.
They'll not have to buy the cookies.
Say, hug 'em. Yep, Grandma and Grandpa, someone,
Oh, look how pretty these are.
Very pretty. They do look very pretty. We were just talking about that, how pretty they
well,
look.
there's the two of you, Grandma and Grandpa. Here you go, Steve. I love seeing your faces light up when they are laughing together. Hope and pray you will enjoy this forever. I always want to be with you, Chia. I'm so grateful to have wonderful grandparents who share such a great love as yours. As I become a bride, there are things I want to bring into my marriage that I've learned from you. So
Money.
many things.
That would be nice too.
Is the way you two smile a little bigger when you're together and live life a little fuller side by side. I love you very much. Samantha.
Thank you so much. That's so wonderful.
Yes, really
Oh.
fun. Definitely.
And it says love in sign.
Yeah, and signs.
See, I'm
Look
pretty
at,
smart.
now we got presents. I don't know, is there any chocolates in any of
No,
them?
that's a set of pens and that's to write the new will.
It's already filled out. You just have to sign.
Fancy paper.
I'll even keep these little butterflies.
I know, right? How quick that was.
That would be a good gift.
Yeah, that was
That would be
nice.
good for Diane.
This is the best gift, so no more.
Jump in something.
I think I've seen it in the Blood Marriage. Game of Thrones or something.
No. Does that sound like me?
It's not Samantha.
Ah,
I meant two of them.
Okay.
do it.
Two of them. And guess what? It says on the spoons.
You want me to read it?
Someone has to read it for me. Says Samantha, read it.
Let's have coffee together forever.
Thank you.
That's
We
cute.
have coffee every morning together, and we will do it forever. So thank you.
Thank you.
Where's a little bag? Put a little back in the pretty little bag.
I'll do it for you.
Melissa's taking it.
She's a taker care of it.
Throwing your hands around. Here's another one.
I love that.
Look like the same here.
Okay, so the thing about the cards is this card I
Think
thought
about
was
the
gonna
cards.
have more space to write.
Dear
so-
Grandma, 60 years is a big deal. I am so grateful to have you. Your example of love and friendship and family all begin with my own family, with my best friend. We love you. Love, Samantha and Axel.
All right. Thank you, Axel. You're not here. Why not? We miss
See you soon. And what is this?
So that's like a pop-up.
Oh,
card.
Oh, happy anniversary. That's cute.
Anniversary, happy,
There's a pop-up.
have a
box.
drink.
At least butterflies didn't jump out on you.
More butterflies. Photo frame, 60 years, 732 miles, 1,800,000 seconds. Count 1 billion. 1 billion.
She gave us hanger up so we can hang it up.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Great. That is a good sign. That is good.
We definitely can hang this one up.
Yeah, definitely. Put it in.
That's what you got.
That's more coffee. People don't eat presents.
Pull the rabbit out. Look at this. Oyster shell. Bon appetit.
Just one for you. Cute.
What?
Pick one, because one I'm taking home and one you get to keep.
No.
That wasn't supposed to be in the.
That wasn't a present for you.
What was it?
There you go. Come on now.
That wasn't. You made a mistake. Yeah, we'll let you have a little one. That's fine. You can have one.
Okay.
You need a
He's gonna get it all anyway.
Wait a couple of years and you'll have it in. I get one. There's two.
Pretty good.
I just bought them.
They had them at the.
I bought them on the way out. 'cause I thought I wanted
Oh, just now.
to.
Yeah.
But it wasn't meant to be about. I was just gonna give it to you later.
Right.
All right. You
What
two.
happens, I put it in the bag and then it was like a gift.
You two radiate love. And I could feel your happiness from here. Happy anniversary and congrats, dear Grandma and Grandpa. Happy anniversary. Sorry I couldn't be here. I'm sending you love from Connecticut.
Oh.
Congrats on the big 60th. See you in March with all my love, Sarah.
Thank you,
Very nice,
Sarah.
Sarah.
Tell Sarah thank you.
And Sarah.
This is a gift for you.
Sarah, my granddaughter, knows how to write very, very well.
And we saw the card. We saw the envelope. We were like, who wrote this? It looks like a stamp.
Yes,
It
Yeah.
was very,
Yeah.
yes.
That's she's our artist in the family.
Right, yes.
I'm sure. She says this is Sarah's gift, although Fairy Tale Land is Sarah. So we might find out.
That wrapping
something-
paper came from underneath our bed.
That's right.
It was very familiar.
You know who it is.
Who would be the guy who
It would be the guy who would find the wrapping paper under your bed.
There you go. Melissa knows.
That guy's resourceful.
Melissa
I love
knows.
Fairy Tale
Life
Land.
mates.
Wrapping paper.
Uh,
That's what I'm saying.
all over. Who else is left? Grandma and Grandpa, thank you for setting a good example for the rest of us. I know you love, your love runs deep and has helped guide me through my own relationship. So grateful to have sharing this special time with you. I have love you. I wish you. I love you. Happy 60th anniversary, both.
It looks like James, but no?
James.
Is that you, James?
Okay, it's James.
I had a glass of wine and I signed the right
I don't
side.
recognize your signature.
It was
Thank you.
Hallmark, 250.
And love, thank you for welcoming you to your family. I gotta read it. To your 60th anniversary, you've made a great family tree.
Yeah.
Here's to many more. Lots of love. Hey.
Thank you. I want your undivided attention. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you a story about our wedding.
The day of our wedding, how we got married.
Well, I'm gonna start it kind of at the beginning. We were in Atlanta. Bill re-enlisted in the Marine Corps because we were poor and broke and didn't have nothing else to do. And we get on the train. I gather up my kids from North Carolina on a train, and we go to California. Get to Los Angeles. We get to Los Angeles, and like within the first 24 hours, we get a marriage license. Because Bill can't check into the base until we're married so that he can get all this money, blah, blah, blah. And back in those days, we were so damn poor we didn't have enough money to buy spaghetti. So we needed that money.
So wait a minute,
Wedding.
you scanned the government? You got married just to scan the government? My guy, that's, yeah. My hero.
So after LA, I can remember going to LA, we go to the courthouse to get our license. I do remember that. I have to remember, what was I? 19.
Woo!
I was a baby with 3 kids and another one packing. on the way.
Oh, you didn't know this stuff?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, you'll learn a lot.
I'm the new girl.
And
Oh, then
so
we'll
we get
have
our
to
license
do
and
that.
somehow or another,
I'm in.
we ended up in Santa Ana. I'm not exactly sure how we ended up in Santa Ana. I think we took a bus because we didn't have no money for a taxi or anything like that. So I'm pretty sure we took a bus.
Okay.
All the kids.
The
I'm
wedding.
telling my story.
Keep going.
I know,
So
that was
then we
my
get-
story, you're stepping on
Well,
my
shut
story.
So then we get to the hotel, and he doesn't remember the hotel, but I remember the hotel. And I get on the phone, payphone down in the lobby, 10 cents. I said, get $1 from him, which was a lot of money for us. And I'm calling all these churches and these places, and oh, we want to do counseling, and we want to blah, we want to do blah. And I finally, on like the 9th phone call, I get up somewhere and say, oh yeah, we'll marry you tomorrow. So, fine, we have the license already. I go to the Salvation Army and buy an old yellow prom dress. And the people in the Salvation Army were trying their best to find the best dress for me, even though I was pregnant, but I wasn't showing much because when you don't eat, you don't show much. And so I got dressed. I had the kids at home in the hotel, and I talked to the housekeeper, and I asked them would they watch the kids for a couple hours. And actually, they did. And I didn't pay them nothing. They did it just because they were nice people. I guess because I was brazen enough, they asked them. I'm not sure. So we go get in a taxi, and we're on our way to this church that we didn't know. We gave it to the taxi driver and said, this is the address we want to go to. And we're on our way to the church, and he says, are you sure you want to go there?
This is at night, by the way.
This is at night. It's like 6 o'clock at night, or 7 o'clock at night. He said it like it might be a place we might not want to go, and whatever. I said, yeah, I don't care. So I looked at him and said, you have any problems? I didn't know. He said no. I said, I don't care who it is, as long as they marry us. So we get to the church. It really is a nice, it was an old-fashioned type, wash your feet type church. Very nice people, kind of half black, half white. And they wanted us to do the foot washing. We got there a little too early. They wanted to do the foot washing ceremony, so the women go over here and the men go over there. And here me in my yellow prom dress with pantyhose on back in those days.
Yeah. Oh, yes, we were.
And they wanted to wash my feet, and I kept saying, no, my feet are clean. They really are clean. And I don't know what happened to your part, but probably the same thing. But eventually, that all ended, and they, all these people that were in there for the foot washing stayed to be witnesses, and actually celebrated the wedding. It was like family. It was a small adopted little family for 20 minutes. So that's how we got there.
Any more regrets?
What's your
Yeah, just, well, there's a little story that happened when we tried to get I told some people this, the wedding license, and I was always, well, somewhat of a pain in the ass. When people say where you're from, I always said New York City, you know, I would never say Queens or Long Island, thinking that these people who aren't from there are too dumb to know the difference, so I just say New York City, and try to put on airs that I didn't really have. So I filled out the form that way, New York City, and I filled out my real address, 216. That was my home address, since you know it's what you have in the military, home address. And the guy looked at it, suspiciously black guy, and he said, 113th Avenue. Now he was familiar with Manhattan, and as people might know, there are 10 or 12 avenues in Manhattan, not 113 of them.
Right.
So I am lying. Right off, right. I'm from New York City, 113th Avenue. And so he's suspecting something's up. So he grilled me for a little bit, and finally I said, yeah, yes, sir, in Queens. Yeah. Oh, Queens, he said. So that was a little thing there. And then as far as the church goes, I mean, it was, you know, we were bordering on homelessness. Not that we called it that or even knew it, but we knew we were going to be very, very hungry. I had, so this, I have to back up even further. So when I did re-enlist, and it was like, there was a period of time when you could get a re-enlistment bonus after you get discharged, and it was 90 days, and this was like the 89th day. And I wanted to, you know, I make sure I'd go and get this money. I grilled this captain while I still could as a civilian. And I did. They gave me a U.S. Government check for $800. That was for 4 years, and I thought it was fabulous. We all did. And, but I didn't have a bank account. I never had a bank account. I mean, except Queens Village savings account someplace. But, you know, it wasn't like it is now with checking, and we never had a checking account. I mean, I never personally. I was in the Marine Corps, single. So I went someplace to cash it, you know, and they said, oh, no, we don't do that here. You know, you got references, where do you live, you know, all this stuff, you gotta put it in the bank, it's gonna take 4 or 5 days. 4 or 5 days, we already had, you know, we had to go ahead for California. I don't know, we didn't buy the tickets yet, I don't know how that worked out, but anyway, I needed the money right away, because there's no waiting around. And why did this thing have to clear? It's the government check, I mean, you know, it's US government all over, Treasury Department, all this green stuff. And we're in the middle of Atlanta. Though we went to the middle of Atlanta, maybe I'll find a big bank. Well, I found big banks. Guess what kind of bank? You know, Chase and all these doing $1 million deals, and they didn't. You know, poor people walk in there and you're in the wrong bank type of thing. So I went in one, and finally, after being rejected from a number of no, we can't. If you don't have an account here, we don't cash checks. And where they said, well, you talk to, you know, this manager or whatever, and the guy came over and I explained our story, how I got it and all this stuff. He said, well, yeah, I can vouch for it because it's a government check, so, you know, that part is right. But we still have this rule that you have to, you know, open an account or something, you know, in California. I had orders in California. And he suggested a money order. Didn't make us sense. Whenever I talk about my sisters, this happens. But before all this happened, before I left New York, I didn't have any money, and I went to my sister Edna and borrowed $50, which was a lot of money in a day. And she gave me her wisdom of what I should and shouldn't be doing. Make sure you know what you're doing. I do. And she gave me $50. And I said, I'll pay you back, you know, because I knew I was going to get this. No, I didn't know it at the time, but I knew I owed her the money, and I wanted to get it back to her. Because I don't think she told Tommy that she'd give me.
Probably not. Well, I don't know.
So I said, yeah, I could do a money order for $50. Oh yeah, we'll do it for, you know, Edna Reed, so and we had that in my pocket. Well, by train trip, landing in LA, hotel in LA for maybe 2 days or whatever, the marriage, we go into Santa Ana because it's close to the base where I'm going, no car, you know, no goods or anything, and the money's almost all gone now. I don't know what the train ticket cost, but it's never cheap, and with 3 kids. So Mary was the expert on it. She finds the apartment in the paper. That's where we went. We went this place. You know, she knew like price. I didn't. You know, I never rented an apartment. I didn't know how much they're supposed to rent for or how you do it. She did. So we go there, and the real nice guy was the manager of the place, and he saw right away 2 very young kids coming in with kids, saying, "Will you rent me a room?" yeah. And where's your stuff? This is it.
You're looking at it.
What about pots and pans and dishes and stuff like that? You know? No, we don't have any. He said, "Well, okay, I'll fix you up." You know, he was very, once again, grateful. I mean, very kind to us. Giving, yeah, and set us up. And I had to pay him some money. You know, what the advance was, I don't remember what it was. All I remember was that we only had like $2 or $3 left with no food. And because we had eaten in a couple of restaurants, you know, in LA with the kids. That's my first Mexican restaurant, by the way, that I went to before that happened. So, okay, I said, well, I got this $50 money order. You know, we can cash it. I'm sure we can cash it. All you have to do is say that you're Edna Reed and sign Edna Reed. Okay, I can do that. So we went to a convenience store across the street and went, she's in there picking all the cheapest food possible, spaghetti, cereal, milk, you know,
And
kids.
tomatoes.
By the way, these kids, you know how old they were at the time.
Little.
They were 3, 2, and 1. So she bought the appropriate food, and we go up to the counter, and I said, "Yep, here's a." Have them give the money order, and she looked at it and said, "Yeah, let me see your ID." You know. And you know, we got about like $10 worth of food. A lot of food in those days, maybe $10, not like now. God forbid now. But you know, so we were pretty good. I was pretty happy. We had enough money for a couple of days to eat, and then we'd make it to the base and get my travel pay. That's what we were going to live on. And she wouldn't do it. And about this time, she's saying, "You got to put all the food back, or I'll put it back for you." This is a convenience store, not even a big store. The manager of that mini street apartments walks in. He says, what, you know, sees us there, and then knows the person because it's right across the street, you know, and says, "Joanne, what's going on?" And she says, "Well, they're trying to cash this money order. I can't do it because they don't have it." "Oh, you go ahead and do it. I know them. They're good people. I'll vouch for it. You know, if it bounces, the money orders can't bounce, but they didn't." So he saved our lives. That's then, oh man, that was right after we got married and stuff. So that's part of the story. We were very, very lucky. Very lucky.
You've been in a lap of luxury ever since.
If that guy hadn't walked in that store, you guys wouldn't be alive probably. No idea.
My kids lived on milk, cereal, spaghetti, and tomato sauce. Because that was the cheapest thing I could buy at the time and feed everybody. So that's what we did.
Mary had a rough life before that, but she was
I knew about that.
pretty
kind of
smart,
stuff.
street smart, and knew how to get by. Nobody's smarter.
So now you know how we got it.
That's that.
Like
Yeah.
60 years, we made it so far.
To tell you another story, what year? I just told Bobby this, I think, but I think everybody knows this story but Renee. So Renee, listen up. So Renee, listen up. You're the only one who don't know this story. You're the only one that doesn't know this story. It's next story. So
Sorry, that like made me cry.
Nah, that's okay. That's it, 60 years later, look how great we
Look
are.
at how good they are. I didn't grow up with money at all, like, so when you get to understand this, like, I know. Don't make us cry. So thank you for sharing this with me, like, thank you for inviting me, your, like, family and your gathering, like, I really appreciate it. And I love the shit out of James. I love him so much, I think he's the most fantastic guy I've ever met, so, I'm sorry.
Really? Really? I know. I think
We all make it through it.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for welcoming me. I really appreciate it. Like, this is.
And you thought we had money.
I have money now. I didn't yet.
I'll be your best friend.
Hey, I was told to never trust a man in suspenders. I've been better than some forever, so thank you.
We know you're a fan already.
I just wanted to tell her, Renee, nobody else, everybody else heard this story, no more than one probably. But it was very profound.
Yeah. Love at first
Not
sight.
about my sister, about my mother. So before we ended up in Atlanta, crazy, and I couldn't get a job and all that happened. I was still in the Marine Corps, and I was very close to being discharged, and I would come up on weekends at the station in Cherry Point, North Carolina. And because I already had hooked up with her, so she came, I got her to come up.
Gotcha.
But, I don't know if you know,
Gangster.
not like today, but just together. You might not notice how I told you this the other day about how I told how great singer she was, and that
Yes.
I was from New York City, and I had connections that I could get her on Broadway.
Pick up line of the century.
Well, not because of my connection, but because she sang so good, I knew if I just brought up to New York
Oh, that's a
City, sing in the
lie.
middle of the street, everybody would flock to it.
That's
That's what I told her.
lie.
No, but I did, she loved it. She loved it. Anyway,
Bluebell.
anyway, she comes up and stays in my house, the house I grew up in Queens, and my mother and father there, met my mother and father, and the next day, I guess, I don't remember exactly, but we had a nook in the kitchen, if you kids, you might remember the nook. So we sat, it's like a booth, you know, you sit down in this nook, and my mother sat there, and we sat there, and she'd ask us questions, and, you know, very nicely, of course, my mother was very smart.
Very nice
My
woman.
mother
I
was,
love her.
as far as understanding human dynamics between people, there's nobody greater than my mother.
Yeah.
And so, and she was obviously a little skeptical, you know. 22 years old, show up with a woman who's got 3 kids. What are you doing? Hello? You used to be smart, you know? And so, but we, you know, it took a long talk, and she was very nice to Mary, and Mary talked, answered all the questions of who's her mother and father, what her upbringing was and all that. And at the end of it all, but we were still ourselves, you know, a little like chip on our shoulders, or young people do. So my mother finally says, she said, you know, I had great, you know, concerns about Billy doing this, you two being together. And she looked right at her and said that, you know, I was against this probably, you know. And she said, but now that I've talked to you, I understand that, you know, you're a difficult person or in a difficult situation. He's a very difficult guy. And I think it might work because you, pointing at her, are the only one that I know who would put up with my son. You are the only one I know who would put up with her.
Exactly what she said.
And she said, so you might make it, it might be all right.
She was right.
Here we are.
60th, I mean.
I love his mother. I really do. I mean, she was, as far as I was concerned, she was like my mother, kind of like the one I didn't have.
Yeah, she lived with us a couple of times, you know, in Hawaii, in Pennsylvania, either. She stayed with us for a while.
So, I mean, I'm telling you about life. Life comes on, you don't know where in the hell it's taking you, but if you just kind of let it go, trust your heart, and sometimes just be lucky, it will work out. It really will. You just don't know when.
She had a positive attitude.
No. So I got the best man.
Either
in the
that or be
world.
too dumb to know better. That works too.
But I got the best.
Let's go right ahead.
You might not know it, but your Uncle Bill is a very romantic man. He always buys me romantic stuff. He don't even know it. He just says, like this here. He don't realize it, what he bought me until I told him.
I remember it well.
He doesn't buying it. He
There's
goes
a red stone. Oh no, I mean.
he goes into a store, he says, oh, that would be perfect for my wife. And he buys it. He has no concept of the history of whatever it means, but he's romantic. And he says, have you done me Moraine? He'll not swear to that ever.
What happened to you?
I buy you romantic stuff. You go to the store, bring it home, and
Oh,
you.
a vacuum cleaner? A vacuum cleaner?
Oh, yeah. You hear that? Suspenders.
I think that y'all can take my humor, so it's
Oh, they can.
One more story. Yeah, there's some question.
Like one guy, and but
Oh,
at
yeah,
the
you
same
gotta do
time,
that.
every single broker I worked with always wore suspenders, and I loved that, something like that, so it was, yeah.
For me, it's just necessary evil. You don't want
You
to
know,
crack at it.
I
Teacher, one more.
don't use crack.
Well, and everybody heard it, I gotta make sure everybody hears it.
I don't have enough.
One more story. One more story.
Oh, we got more stories here.
Yeah, everybody's got that, you, Bob, but you. You don't need to tell everybody, Bob. You're the only one. There's news. No, it has to do with that photograph on the cake when you're about to eat. One more story. One more story.
Oh, we got more stories here.
Yeah, everybody's got that, you, Bob, but you. Okay. So it's,
Yes, we
in
want that
Hawaii, I was
story,
in Okinawa. I thought I was going back to Vietnam, but they stopped me in Okinawa. And Mary was living in base housing in Olathe, Kansas during the
Salina.
war. Huh?
Salina.
Salina, Kansas. And, you know, because the bases had emptied out, so all the families, the housing was open.
Vietnam.
And they made it, say, anybody wants to live in these things, they can, well, you know, military, active duty.
Have no place else.
So we made arrangements to meet in Honolulu, and, you know, I came in by some military, although it was a Sicilian airline, but it was, you know, they used to charter, so the military would charter the planes. And she landed someplace else in Hawaii, and I knew where she was gonna be landing. This is before cell phones and all this stuff. In fact, the only way we could talk from there was from CB radio, you know, you had shortwave radio. You had to say over every time.
I'm not
And
good at that.
so I knew what plane she was coming in, so I went down. But there was it was either came in an hour early or didn't come in late. I think it came in early. I came in late. I don't know
It
whichever.
doesn't matter.
So here I am in this large airport. We got 4 days together, so I said, where's my wife? How do you find that we had no backup plan? That we couldn't say we'll meet at the bar under the clock or something, you know, we didn't know. We run around, and all of a sudden, I was in uniform, of course, and she yelled, Mary, Bill, and I turned it was her. So we did, and that picture was a couple days later in a restaurant in Honolulu. It all worked out very well. But that was one of the scariest times of my life. I mean, I was really, you know, I'm saying, what do I do now? It's a big plane, you know. And you know, now it's still silly with cell phones and texts and all that stuff. But yeah, and we weren't smart enough to have a backup plan, like go
Well,
to
we
the
didn't think we
USO
needed it.
or
Who the hell
go
knows?
Terminal A or whatever.
Need my baggage, something.
Yeah.
Just I'm gonna meet you there. That's it, yeah.
Were you walking around a lot, moms, calling Bill?
And she was
No,
right. She
no,
was right.
no,
Or did you see
I don't panic.
Right,
I
right.
panic later, but I don't panic when the situation is happening. That's why, if you have an emergency, I will not panic. Now, after the emergency is over, I'm panicking. But not while you're having the emergency, so you want me around.
Yeah, that's
But,
good.
so I don't panic. But what was so funny is later on, I think it was not the first night, but the next night we went out to Waikiki and we were drinking like crazy. And going from place to place. That's why I bought that bottle that I told you about, that.
Yeah, the white one?
The white one?
Yeah.
It's a keepsake,
It's like
One of
a
those fancy
canister.
bottles.
a fancy bottle for,
Canister, like a,
what was the brand was, I don't remember, it doesn't matter. It was
Jim
bourbon.
Beam.
Jim Beam. But it was a white container, a white milk type thing, everybody knows the collection. But, so we're drunk as hell, both of us. Now we're 20 or whatever, so who the hell gives? So, but, there was a bunch of Hawaiian guys. Apparently, I didn't see this, but he saw it. And he thought they were flirting with me. And he was ready to fight. And
That's what the woman you see a man
Okay,
get me.
That's right. He don't remember it, but I do remember pulling it back, saying, okay, it's okay. They're not bothering me. But he literally got up in their face and said, stop looking at my woman. So he was ready to fight, to protect me.
All right. Story time is over.
Just a word.
Thanks for coming.
Bye.